So today we're going to go to chapter 4, section 5, and the topic today is the equation of a line. And you folks know what an equation is. You've solved equations in elementary algebra. Today we're going to learn how to figure out what the equation of a line is if we have a point and a slope, or 2 points, or if we want to find the equation of a line that's parallel to another one, we can be able to do that, or an equation of a line that's perpendicular to another line. We'll be able to do that. So let's start by taking a look at something that we know here. Let me get the document camera on. Make sure it's all right. We know from our studies the last couple lessons that we can figure out the slope of the line if we know 2 points. If we know 2 points, the slope m equals the y value for the second point minus the y value for the first point divided by the x value of the second point minus the x value of the first point. Remember, this was the change in y divided by the change in x. And that gave us the slope. Now we're going to use this equation to develop a new equation that's going to be able to give us an equation for a line when we know the slope and 1 point. So if we look at example 1 in the book, example 1 gives us a slope of 5/3, and it gives us a point of 2 and 1. So this is our x component of that point and the y. And our slope is 5/3. We want to write the equation for the line that has this slope and passes through this point. So we can go back to our original formula for the slope, and we can substitute this point in for the point values for 1. We'll call this point 1. And we can substitute this in for the slope. So when we do that, we get 5/3 equals y2 minus y for point 1, which is 1, divided by x2 minus our x value for point 1, which is 2. X sub 2 minus 2. Okay? Well, there's no sense. There's only one y now and only one x. So let's rewrite this as 5/3 equals y minus 1 over x minus 2. You can leave the subscripts in there if you want, and you'll still get the right answer, but most people drop them. Once you substitute, there's no sense keeping that subscript. Now, let's solve this equation for y. When we solve this equation for y, we want to make y stand by itself, okay? Well, the first thing we can do is we can multiply both sides by 3. I'll take this through step by step to kind of refresh our memory of algebra. So we're going to multiply by 3. So if we multiply by 3, we get 3 times 5/3 equals 3 times y minus 1 divided by x minus 2. This cancels, and we get 5 equals 3 times y minus 1 times x minus 2. Let's get rid of this fraction here. We can do that by multiplying by x minus 1. If we multiply this side by x minus 1, we'll multiply this side by x minus 1. And we get x minus 1 times 5 equals, this cancels, and we get 3 times y minus 1. We learned how to do this in elementary algebra. So now we use the distributive law, or the distributive rule, and we get rid of these parentheses by multiplying everything in the parentheses by everything next to it. This means that we're going to multiply x minus 1 times 5. Everything in this parentheses we're going to multiply by 5. So we're going to multiply 5 times x is going to give us 5x. We're going to multiply 5 times a minus 1 gives us minus 5. And that's going to equal 3 times y, which is 3y. Oh, it's x minus 2. Yes, you're right. This should be a 2. Thank you. Thank you. This is a 2. See, this was an x minus 2. So we're going to multiply by x minus 2. That's going to make this different, isn't it? Okay, it's still y minus 1 though. All right, gol darn it. Thank you very much. Never hesitate to point out my mistakes there. So we multiply 5 times x and we get 5x. We multiply a minus 2 times 5 and we get a minus 10. Then we multiply 3 times y, we get a 3y, and we multiply 3 times a minus 1, we get a minus 3. Now, we need to get y by itself, because we're going to solve this for y. So we're going to add 3 here, and we're going to add 3 here. And we'll get 5x minus 7 equals 3y. When we add these, they go to 0. Okay, we still haven't gotten y by itself, so we're going to divide by 3. Divide this by 3 and this by 3. And now we have y equals 5x over 3 minus 7 over 3. And we can flip these around, and we might as well. So this is y equals 5x over 3 minus 7 over 3. Now, we could rewrite that if we wanted. Y equals 5/3 x minus 7/3. Okay? That's the form that I like it in. Why do I like it in this form? Because we learned last time, this number is our slope, and this number is where this line crosses the y. This is the y-intercept. If you solve your equation for y, then the number that's in front of the x is the slope, and the number that's after it is the intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis.